Abū Maʿshar, the master astrologer and historian of the Islamic Golden Age. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Sufi Essence with Hammad Syed. In the brilliant constellation of Islamic scholarship, few stars shine as brightly or as uniquely as Abū Maʿshar al-Balkhī. May Allah be pleased with him, is living in the heart of the 9th century, a period often referred to as the Islamic Golden Age. Abū Maʿshar was a master of two seemingly disparate fields, astrology and history. His life and his monumental contributions are a profound testament to the intellectual spirit of his time, where the pursuit of knowledge was a holistic endeavor, a quest to understand the intricate workings of the universe and the grand unfolding of human destiny as a single, divinely ordained narrative. For the scholars of this era, the study of the heavens was not a secular exercise, but a profound spiritual act, a form of contemplation that led to the knowledge of Allah through the observation of his signs in the cosmos. Abū Maʿshar was not just a scholar, he was a bridge between the ancient world and the new, a synthesizer who took the rich traditions of Greek, Persian, and Indian thought and wove them into a new, distinctly Islamic intellectual framework. He looked up at the stars and saw not just celestial bodies, but a divine language, a book of signs that revealed the hidden patterns of causation and will. He looked back at history and saw not a random series of events, but a divinely guided cyclical process that was inextricably linked to the movements of the heavens. His work, therefore, is a profound example of the integration of diverse fields of knowledge, where the study of celestial influences was linked to the understanding of historical causation and divine will. It embodies the era's spirit of seeking order and meaning in the cosmos and in human events, a spirit that is deeply resonant with the Sufi search for unity in all of creation. Our discourse today will be a comprehensive, structural, exhaustive scholarly exploration of the life, work, and spiritual vision of Abū Maʿshar al-Balkhī. May Allah be pleased with him. We will argue that his contributions are a profound example of the integration of diverse fields of knowledge in the Islamic Golden Age, where the study of celestial influences was linked to the understanding of historical causation and divine will. We will delve into his life, his intellectual transformation, and the structural genius of his most famous works. We will meticulously unpack his theories on planetary conjunctions and their profound implications for understanding history and prophecy. This is not just a lecture on an ancient astrologer and historian. It is a profound journey into the heart of a scholar who saw the cosmos and history as two sides of the same divinely written coin. Part 1. The scholar and his context, the fusion of Greek and Islamic thought. The story of Abū Maʿshar al-Balkhī, may Allah be pleased with him, is a story of profound intellectual transformation. He was born in Balkh, in modern-day Afghanistan. In 787 CE, his early life was dedicated to the pursuit of the traditional Islamic sciences. He was a legal scholar faqih and a scholar of hadith, and for a time, he was a vocal opponent of the Hellenistic sciences that were beginning to flood into the Islamic world. His journey from a legal scholar to a master astrologer is a famous anecdote that is often recounted in the histories of Islamic science. It is said that in Baghdad he was challenged to a debate by a prominent astrologer, and in order to defeat his opponent, he decided to study the science of astrology. What began as a polemical exercise, however, became a profound intellectual passion that would define the rest of his life. His intellectual journey was a direct product of the intellectual climate of the 9th century Abbasid Caliphate. This was an era of unprecedented intellectual activity, a period of massive translation and synthesis. The Abbasid Caliphs, in particular Al-Min, established the famous Beit al-Hikmah, House of Wisdom, in Baghdad, a library and research center that became the engine of a massive translation movement. Scholars from all over the Islamic world were tasked with translating Greek, Persian, and Indian texts on philosophy, medicine, and astronomy into Arabic. Abū Maʿshar was a direct beneficiary of this intellectual crucible. He immersed himself in the translated works of Ptolemy, Aristotle, Dorotheus of Sidon, and the Indian astronomers, and he synthesized these diverse traditions into a new, distinctly Islamic form of knowledge. The theological and philosophical context of his work is crucial to understanding its significance. At the time, astrology was a subject of intense debate. Legal scholars and theologians were deeply suspicious of a science that seemed to give predictive power to the stars, power that many saw as a direct challenge to the absolute sovereignty of all. For them, the stars were merely created objects, and to attribute any causal power to them was a form of polytheism shirk. Abū Maʿshar, however, articulated a different and more nuanced position. For him, the stars were not independent causal agents, but were instruments of divine will, a language of signs that revealed all's intricate plan for the universe. He argued that the celestial bodies were a reflection of the divine order, and that the study of their movements was a way of understanding the divine plan for the world. His work, therefore, was not a rejection of Islam, but a profound attempt to understand the universe in a way that was consistent with the principles of divine unity. Syed saw the celestial spheres as a book of signs, and he saw himself as a reader of that book, a reader who was dedicated to understanding the cosmic order and the divine plan. Part 2. Kitab al-Mudkhal al-Kabir, the Grand Introduction to Astrology. The most famous and influential of Abū Maʿshar al-Balkhī, may Allah be pleased with him. His works is his Kitab al-Mudkhal al-Kabir, the Great Introduction to the Science of Astrology. This book, which was completed in 848 CE, was not just a textbook. It was a comprehensive and systematic treatise that laid out the theoretical foundations of astrology and its relationship to the natural world. It was a groundbreaking work that served as the primary textbook for the field for centuries, and it was a work that would have a profound and lasting impact on the intellectual history of both the Islamic world and Europe. The structural genius of the book lies in its systematic and comprehensive approach. It is organized into a series of chapters that cover all the key concepts of astrology, from the nature of the planets and their houses to the techniques of horoscopic analysis. Abū Maʿshar begins by laying out the theoretical foundations of the science, arguing that the movements of the celestial bodies are a reflection of the divine order, and that they have a profound influence on the sublunary world. He then proceeds to explain the nature of the planets, their qualities, and their symbolic meanings. He provides a detailed explanation of the 12 houses of the horoscope and their relationship to different aspects of human life, from wealth and health to family and career. He also provides a detailed explanation of the techniques of horoscopic analysis, from the interpretation of planetary aspects to the forecasting of future events. Crucially, Abū Maʿshar, may Allah be pleased with him, framed these technical details within a spiritual and philosophical context. For him, the planets were not just celestial bodies, but were manifestations of the divine names and attributes. The sun, for example, was a manifestation of An-Nur, the light, and the moon was a manifestation of Al-Jamil, the beautiful. The planets, with their different qualities and influences, were a reflection of the diversity and richness of the divine attributes. Astrology, in this context, was not a deterministic science, but a predictive one, a science that allowed the scholar to understand the divine plan for the world without claiming to know the ultimate future. His work was also a profound act of synthesis. He took the Greek, Persian, and Indian traditions of astrology and wove them into a new, distinctly Islamic framework, corrected the errors of his predecessors, provided new and more accurate calculations, and integrated the science of astrology into a broader Islamic intellectual tradition. The book's profound and lasting impact is a testament to its intellectual rigor and its systematic approach. It became a foundational text for later astrologers and philosophers, and it was a work that would shape the intellectual history of the Islamic world for centuries to come. Part 3. Astrology and History. The Great Conjunctions and the Cycles of Nations. One of the most profound and original contributions of Abū Maʿshar al-Balkhī, may Allah be pleased with him, was his work on historical astrology. He was the first to develop a systematic theory that linked the movements of the celestial bodies to the grand cycles of history, to the rise and fall of dynasties, and to the emergence of new religions. His theory of great planetary conjunctions was a revolutionary way of looking at history, not as a random series of events, but as a divinely ordained, cyclical process. The centerpiece of his theory was the conjunction of the two slowest-moving planets, Saturn and Jupiter. He argued that the conjunction of these two planets, which occurs approximately every 20 years, was a powerful and significant event that marked the beginning of a new historical era. He also argued that a series of these conjunctions, which occur every 240 years, marked the beginning of a new historical cycle, a new epoch in the history of nations and religions. The grandest of these conjunctions, which occurred every 960 years, marked the beginning of a new millennium and the emergence of a new religious dispensation. He used this theory to provide a new and comprehensive framework for understanding history. He correlated the great conjunctions of Saturn and Jupiter with major historical events, such as the rise of ancient empires, the life of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the emergence of Islam. Argued that the appearance of a new religion such as Islam was not a random event, but a divinely ordained one that was reflected in the celestial spheres. His theory provided a new and powerful way of understanding the nature of prophecy, the destiny of the Islamic community, and the grand sweep of human history. This approach was not a rejection of Islamic theology, but a profound attempt to understand the divine will in history. For Abū Maʿshar, may Allah be pleased with him, history was a book of signs. Historical astrology was the LM that allowed the scholar to read that book. He saw the celestial spheres as the ultimate cause of all historical events, and he saw the study of their movements as a way of understanding the divine plan for the world. His work, therefore, was a profound and spiritual act of worship, a way of fulfilling the Quranic command to contemplate the signs of Allah in the universe and in history. Part 4. The Enduring Legacy and the Western Transmission. The legacy of Abū Maʿshar al-Balkhī, may Allah be pleased with him, is a living, breathing testament to the power of a spiritual vision that is grounded in both scientific rigor and mystical contemplation. His work had a profound and lasting impact on the history of both the Islamic world and Europe. His influence on later Islamic thought is monumental. His works were a foundational text for later astrologers and philosophers, and they were a source of inspiration for scholars like al-Kindi. May Allah be pleased with him. Al-Farabi, may Allah be pleased with him, used his work to further develop the field of astrology and its relationship to philosophy and theology. His work became a model for the integration of scientific inquiry with spiritual contemplation, a model that would shape the intellectual history of the Islamic world for centuries to come. His most profound and enduring legacy, however, is his transmission to the Latin West. In the 12th century, his books were translated into Latin in Spain and became a cornerstone of medieval European astrology. He was known in Europe as Abū Maʿshar, and he was one of the most cited astrologers in Europe for centuries. His works, particularly Kitab, al-Mudkhal, al-Kabir, and his treatises on historical astrology, were a source of profound influence on European scholars, and they played a crucial role in the development of European astrology and its relationship to philosophy and history. The works of Abū Maʿshar, therefore, became a crucial link between the scientific traditions of the past and the scientific revolutions of the future. In conclusion, Abū Maʿshar al-Balkhī, may Allah be pleased with him, was not just an astrologer and a historian. He was a master synthesizer, a man who, through his profound intellectual rigor and spiritual sincerity, created a new and influential intellectual tradition. He saw the cosmos as a reflection of divine order and history, as a testament to divine will, a true embodiment of the spirit of the Islamic Golden Age. His legacy is a living spiritual tradition that continues to inspire and challenge us to this day. Thank you for joining us on this intellectual and spiritual journey. Please subscribe to our channel to continue our exploration of the rich and profound essence of Sufism.